Díomh agus fáilte chuig What the Focal. Hello and welcome to What the Focal, where I answer your questions about the Irish language. And today, by me kindly Séaghan Ó Súilleabháin faoi north, south, east and west, the directions, the cardinal points. Mar tá siad éagsúil an Gaeilge agus an Méarla, nó tá sé éagsúil an cuí a winter úsáid astú. And Séaghan is a teacher, so he knows all this. He's going to explain to me this complicated, not that complicated, but sometimes complicated system. So welcome, Séaghan.
Gur míle maith agat, Ciara.
And
an order bensar, What the Focal.
Fiera. Agus liom leat do ceapacáin nua mar ambassador Seachtain na Gaeilge.
Yeah, ní rás súla sin, hála sé.
Gorgeous lad. So I'd say you're very busy at the moment. I know you're up to all sorts. You've got a new program coming out as well, don't you?
Yes, we're flat out. It's very strange to hear you speak English. I'm not used to that.
It's right like Gaeilge úsáid, just come in or you're...
Yeah. Didn't meet Mascon.
Yeah, picture Shinga Jazz. August. So yeah, you're not saying much about your program there. You're going to have a new program on TG Cahir?
Yes.
You don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I do, yeah. I'd love to talk about it. Offering for Griefta. Yeah, so ben me bwile le lani, I'll be meeting young people or count the TJ, either 8 agus 9 bliain diag dhís, so around 8 to 12 years old. Agus a kaint loha nor iru fwin the good patli, you know, Torsais na dura ve gaun, hopefully. It'll be kind of natural, not so much scripted or big scenes. I'm just fistrach. I'm curious about people and how the relationship they have with their pets. So it's going to be interesting. Tamasul gemurdish.
Intach. Agus dar know tá anna call the Vadarin Fane Brandy. You're very famous on TikTok because of your own pet, Brandy.
Yes, I have no talent myself. Well,
yes, because of your pet. Yeah, that's the only reason. But no, you make a lot of videos about farming. I'm just giving people an introduction as if you needed one about farming and your life in Kerry. And you also talk about the Irish language and bailiges and lots of different things. So something to do with just because you're so rooted in the land, like you're always going up mountains. And I thought you'd be the perfect person to tell us how north, south, east and west work in Irish. So, on the soimid leis na cín first a galore?
Oh, gandot, yeah.
Okay.
I'll hashi clear on the wrist.
Honor not will do. You're usad.
Yeah, but a lot of the time when, you know, if you're an English speaker and you're trying to start learning Irish, speak Irish, you have to change your mindset a little bit. Do you know, there's things that are phrased very differently. And if you really want to get into the language, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the language, let's say. It's not a direct translation. So I think it's interesting. Some people might say it's on a yakar, very hard.
So yeah, so soimid leis na cín is bonusi is docha.
Yeah. So the points themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the troracha is docha ha geshtigan of the directions, but tugter mar dortu the Ceithre hArda, and I didn't have that word in English until today. You said the 4 points. So there was a different word in there.
Cardinal points.
The cardinal points. What am I saying? But yeah. Christian tuaisceart an vinnic I Gillooly na Ceithre hArda, because we have a phrase, os na Ceithre hArda. If something came from all directions at you, I don't know, a swarm of birds, bees, anything like that.
That's what Ciara wrote a Harleen or Tatu Kiri.
It's a dangerous place, you know. Yeah, but os na Ceithre hArda, that's a phrase that we have from all directions, from the 4 cardinal points. And they would be on tuaisceart, up in the north, on tuaisceart, on Ceithre agus on thuiadh, the west and the east.
Okay, intach. So sin nuair atá tú a kaint fuhu, that's if you're talking about them. Can we make a sentence? So on tuaisceart. Is bralam on tuaisceart?
It's bralam on tuaisceart. Ama machoni sa tuaisceart, in tuaisceart na TJ. Yeah, it's about the places themselves, I suppose. When you're talking about the concept of the north, the west, on Tarach here, well, that's here.
We'll get to that. Okay, so we're talking about them as a concept. It's on tuaisceart, tuaisceart, on Ceithre, agus on thuiadh. And then we have, if you were there, for example, if you were in the north, how would you say, I'm there?
Yeah, so táim ó thuaidh.
Okay, yeah, but I suppose you could, yeah, it's different. There's tá brí éagsúla sa tuaisceart agus ó thuaidh. I'm north and I'm in the north, is it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like I'm here on sun. I'm west there. The Tom Haird. If I was in Dublin, I'd say I'm Haird. I'm like clear. I'm in Chicago, If I'm talking to someone from Kerry. So I think what adds to the castach, I suppose, the complicated aspect is when you're talking about directions, we'll have to think about our own position, but also the position of the person we're speaking to about our position. So it adds another layer to it. But like I say, if I was in Dublin speaking to you in Dublin, I just said Tom and Saw.
Yeah.
I'm here in Blacklia. I'm in the east in Dublin.
Okay. So if I wanted to tell you, if I happened to be in and I wanted to tell you that I was about, would I say Tommy hero, yes?
Yeah, you could say hero, yes. You wouldn't say it too much. I suppose you do hear that with the famous radio show that we have in Kerry on Séaghan Ó Súilleabháin, life in the south. So yeah, that is situated in the south. It's not moving. So you would say, yeah, hero, yes.
August, yeah. If you're going somewhere, what to do? The Valach Kint.
In the direction, yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm in Dublin and I'm driving towards Connemara, Táim sheer in my own mind. We'll stick with the direction we're going in for now. Dul sheer. And
Call to Dul sheer Connemara.
Yeah. And a lot of these, it helps if you have an example from a song or a poem or something like that. It kind of sticks in your head. But then if you're going east, you're Dul Sir. But then north and south are a bit different. So you're Dul Ohuig, nu Oyas. North Ohuig, south Oyas.
And like Shin and Fá Grouche Biogon Dakar, mar like you would think it means from.
Yes, yeah, you would.
So like I can see how people get confused, and you're right. Like an chuig was your oldest come now just clutching to it. So like sheer go Connemara, like near ha here go Connemara, my tashi cluster got on origin.
Yeah.
No, like Trastina Dánta Dul sheer. Like
yes, exactly. Yeah. But that's what I do a lot of the time with even Nahana Kainta. I just get them from songs. Like a famous example would be on Pucker Bwille, people that have the first line, Magwaldum Sheer, Condrohadivora, and he's moving west throughout the song. So we know he's a Dul Sheer. But like you said, Trasna down to Dul Sheer. That reminds you, Sheer and Sir are easier. But like you say, Oyasano, Huig can be a bit confusing with that O, which is usually mean from.
Yeah. So, if you actually are going from, you would be becoming, it's like Adui, nacha?
Yes,
yeah. Adui.
Adui.
Ektacht
Adui.
Adui.
Ohuig, Ektacht Adui. And again, this depends on who you're speaking to. Because if I'm talking to someone in the south and I'm going, I wouldn't say to them, Táim Dul yes, I'd say Táim Tacht Adui. I'm coming from the north.
Tushko sheets and own Hannah Shane.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
she not need Overing Catholic. It's a little bit complex there. Whereas if I was speaking to someone in Belfast and I tell them I'm going north, Táim Dul Huig. And that's the same way then with south. Táim Dul yes, ach Táim Tacht Anas.
Anas. Yeah, I guess Shin Kinnell, like it's very Shin Howley where it's like own ass, like own has from the that's not too hard. But so Doc or go to a kind Vec on Rawa go to raw go to dull no like talk us kiddo. Like it's just kind around you.
Yeah. And generally if I'm talking about myself, just dear him Táim Dul yes, Táim Dul sheer. But when I would use a nas and a year is if I'm speaking to someone who's in the other direction with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But adequate to get mar obviously if you're talking about Belfast to Kerry, we know the direction. But if you're on a country road, like it really expects you to know a lot about what direction you're going. Like if there's no seed, how are you going to know really?
And like you
the
say,
angle of the sun in the sky.
Like you say, it comes back to cultural context because I suppose going back, well, like in English, you really only talk about these directions with the wind, or maybe if you're mountaineering, like you said. But traditionally, Irish people are so rooted in the land and Tallav, August Narragansett, the sea, that they were just constantly aware of, they almost had an internal compass, let's say. And that's why it's so common in phrases, these sheer and near, sir and there, because they were constantly thinking about that. There's a great book called Songlines that I read a while ago. And it actually focuses on the Bunduchsigs in Australia, so the native people of Australia, and how songs that they have in their culture could guide them through places they'd never been. So they remain all this carnot, but tána tróirechas na liricí.
Wow.
Tá sé ná ní the leanúnt, and they know where to look out for a loch, a lake, or canucker, clay, perod, you know? And they have the similar kind of complex directions as in Irish, but through the songs they could find their way through these places. So it's amazing what can be passed on as well with these directions. They had a real significance.
Yeah, actually I read an article about the Bunducasí because she there are garau tushker usad sheet community garav compass mar to internal compass acu. And like it's interesting, and I wonder how many people. I do know a friend of mine was like living back west. Agiri agus Dorche grab she go le Fermore agus gimiuk the Trorica ag Fermore few agus a bug timple like unhurt, you know, gur hig shaking all throughout she. So Tasha intact spatial, and I also read a thing saying that it's less egocentric than English, because in English you're like right and left and like you're the center, but in this you're going by the compass because like there's a whole world around you.
That's a very interesting point. I've never thought about that. No, it's less egocentric, of course.
Just get to dig in while I can, you know.
Yes, you have to. But my father would be like that now. It's amazing. Even places where we wouldn't be living, he'd be very aware of where's north, where's south. And I think it's by the mountains where we live, it's easy enough to do it that way. But he does, even though he's speaking English all the time, he's very conscious of the location in which he is and where the directions are.
Actually, now that you say it, my dad is quite like that as well. I just hadn't really thought about it. Yeah, he loves that. And, you know, they're always going out early for walks on holidays and learning where it is and telling you this is north, south, east. Yeah. Just in case he's watching, I have to give him credit.
There's this outlet obsession with like knowing where you're going, where you are, where this is. But it's nice. I should ask.
Tasha jazz.